Hey guys, it's the Electric Penguin sliding into your day once again, and today I'm going to be covering my hardest Castle Crashers bosses. I'll be using, some pictures from my playthrough, some pictures from the internet because maybe I haven't gotten there and I haven't fought the bosses in any Castle Crashers related videos. I also woke up like an hour ago and my head hurts. So if I'm drinking water, it's me trying to get rid of the headache. So let's hop right into it with number 20 being the War Machine. The War Machine is a mini boss. And yes, we are including mini bosses. And as you can see, it literally has 2 attacks and they're both not too difficult to dodge. They're not difficult to dodge. It's a really good tutorial boss to teach you how the game actually works. And I think that was the entire purpose of the boss. So we're going to move on to number 19, the Barbarian boss. This boss can be extremely difficult at a low level, but if you know what to do and if you can handle the Barbarian minions, which aren't a huge problem, but if you know the field enough, then yes, you can just fly through it. For me, I played through as the Industrialist. That's how I'm going to be ranking all of them. And I murdered the Barbarian boss in a snap using the Industrialist, just spamming the gear magic. And I mean, his spike shield is really obnoxious. And whenever he drinks, he flies across the entire arena, putting you in a bad position. And whenever he throws the bottle down, it can explode and ruin your day. Also, whenever they jump in your way, you have no clue what's happening, and you have no easy way to tell. Number 18, it's going to be the Volcano boss. Totally active volcano. All you have to do is just punch it in the face and dodge X's. It doesn't really have any other attacks, but the reason it's so high up is because the minions can be really obnoxious whenever you're trying to get yourself in a good position to just punch it in the face. Moving on to number 17, we have Mother Troll. Mother Troll is up here because all the minions can be really annoying, which can just ruin your day because there's so many of them at such a large time. And whenever they all die, everybody dies, which makes it easy enough. At number 16, we have the big troll thing. It's actually quite an easy fight. The normal boss fight is way easier. Because this one, you have to know how to jump over stuff. You know how you have to control your speed. And whenever there's a giant log and you may have hit something before, you're going to have to back yourself up into his teeth, which if done incorrectly, you can get hit by his hitbox. And that might sound really difficult, but then you got to remember that it has another boss fight, which is easy. All you have to do is just not get hit by the thieves. Because if you get hit by the thieves, they will knock you off of the cart and ruin your day. And that being said, if you can have some good area control, then yeah, it's a pretty easy fight. No real problems. At number 15, we're going to have the Catfish boss. The Catfish boss is a lot of people's least favorite, even though I actually don't mind it. You see, it can just be really annoying whenever it just flies by and hits you for no freaking reason after it already went there, and you're just sitting there like, really, dude? Really? That's how we're playing? I guess so. But yeah, that's exactly what this game is all about. It's just making your day awful. Also, it's obnoxious to fight, because if your teammate gets hit into the water and they might get hurt and you're like, crap, well, we have to position ourselves to not get hurt and to sit in front of the ship. That's why it's so high. At number 14, we have the aliens. Apparently, this counts as a mini boss. I don't really get it, though. But yeah, it's pretty easy. I mean, it it'll make you have a couple of attempts. And if you don't have ranged magic, gosh, you must be in a sad situation. At number 13, we have Medusa. We're starting to get to the actual difficult bosses. So this one, the only thing that's really annoying is whenever she turns you to stone and then she sends a bunch of snakes at you. But she's an extremely forgettable boss. I'm not a huge fan of her, and a lot of people aren't either. At number 12, we have Pipistrello. Pipistrello is really mean, as it runs around, which is your best chance to attack it, but it can still hit you with its tongue. But let's also talk about how the bat and poop combo. What the poop does is Pipistrello will follow you all around the small arena and poop on you, causing, I think, a bit of damage alone and then the poison. And then, after that, Pipistrello and the bats will bite you in the head so you can't even move out of the way. And then the tongue just whacks you in the face and you're like, really, dude? You're gonna do this? Play dirty? It's not very nice. At number 11, we have the Industrial Machine. It's not a difficult boss by any means. It's actually quite easy. But the fact that you have to go through the entire Industrial Castle, a very difficult map in my opinion, probably the hardest map in my opinion, it just makes the fight 10 times more difficult. As if you screw up and you have low health, that could be the end. And that means you're going to have to redo everything. Number 10. Now we're starting to get to the actual top 10 most difficult bosses. We have the Groom Conehead. I said something that I believe is the most true thing I've ever said on this channel. We were fighting the Conehead Groom, and then he did this to me. And before that, I said, I'm actually pretty good at this fight. Then he hit me, and I said, never mind, I lied. Got hit. Sorry, got a hair in my mouth. Anyways, yeah, the Conehead Groom can be a real jerk. And look at that. I am taking up pretty much the entire arena. If you can't move fast enough, then you're going to die in the final chunk. No doubt in my mind. And he weakens you up before another boss fight. So you have the Conehead Groom, then you have to fight the big troll. Like, what type of bullcrap is that? And that is why he is at number 10. At number 9, we have the Cyclops. The reason he's here is because he could be obnoxious to actually hit. Because of his knife attack, and only his knife attack is what got him at number 10. Because the Conehead Groom would be at number 9. He just throws his knives, and whenever he knife spams you, it's just game over. There's nothing you can do. Ripperonis, it's over. At number 8, we have the Painter. The Painter is actually pretty fun boss, not gonna lie. He's a blast. He used to be my favorite boss. I don't know if he still is. I'll do a ranked list of that. Well, anyways, his boss fight is just fun. And the reason he's at number 8 is because he just will not give up. And sometimes it could get really overwhelming, especially if you get hit. And the reason he's only at number 8 is because he throws up food for you at the end, which is pretty cool. And that means we're transitioning to number 7, which will be the Undead Cyclops. The Undead Cyclops is an absolute jerk. What he can do is he can smash you into the ground, and whenever he can smash you in the ground, and then then the Conehead Groom can fly in and hit you, which can make this battle extremely difficult if you can't trap him on the ground, which is why it is at number 7. At number 6, we have the Corn Boss. This will be probably a surprise to some of you, That's up that the corn boss was super difficult. Well, he's not. I mean, he just takes a long time. But he gives you free health. All you have to do is just know how to counter him correctly and know exactly where he is at what time, and it'll be quite easy. Also, you can get the peasant and the villager to come help you and help kill the corn boss. But because of how long the fight lasts, that's what got him at the number 6 spot. At number 5, we have the Frost King. A lot of people's least favorite boss. And I can understand it, because he can be extremely difficult. Remember, I was playing as the Industrialist, and the Industrialist levels up so quickly, because levels are dependent on, like, how much damage, like, how many times you hit something, and the gear attack hits stuff for about 2 times per, like, main magic attack. Which means you're going to level up really quickly, and if you can get them all in a group, then you're going to tear through the levels. This is a boss that, unlike all the other bosses where I fly around just for fun, this is one of the bosses where I don't ever want to fight, because he can be so difficult. And trust me, as the Industrialist, the fight wasn't difficult, but it was definitely not easy, and I could not imagine being a level, like, 19 or 21 like this guy. Because as the Industrialist, I was level like 31 whenever I was fighting the Frost King, which means I was over leveled, and I still had some really close some really close calls, especially whenever the icicles start falling from the sky, and you're like, bruh, you're gonna do this to me now? But the reason that he could be easily destroyed by the Industrialist puts him at the number 5 spot. A very good spot. At number 4, if you have ever seen my playthrough, if you've ever seen my playthrough of Castle Crashers with Golden Freddy Los Tacos / Preston / Fortnite Fanatic, he has a lot of names, you know that this thing was the bane of our existence. Let's go over it for a second. Alright, so first off, he tornado spams, which means you can never actually hit him until he's out of the tornado. Which means you can go in and be like, alright, I got this perfect strategy, but he can just tornado and tornado and tornado. Also, he can throw normal magic at you. How messed up is that? And then he can actually hit you with a sword that does quite a bit of damage. No, sir. He whacks you in the face with a freaking fish. That's not fair. And whenever you get in an X battle with him, for some reason, he normally wins. This is a mini boss, and he's number 4. Higher than the Frost King. You can disagree all you want, but me and my friends always have a difficult time with this single boss. And that is why I hate the bear level, but I love it because of the music. The music is great. And him and his dancing self will forever be burning in hell for me. At number 3, we have the Evil Wizard. But mainly, not just the Evil Wizard, the spider form of the Evil Wizard. Let's go over what happens in this boss fight. Alright, the Jetten's pretty easy. They all just fly if you can just get them in one spot. And then you just spam your gear attack as the Industrialist, and it's over. You just spam your Y attack, let's be honest. And look at my health. I did this using a couple of potions. And then he just thwacks at you because he can change from blue to red. And blue means attack with magic. Red means attack with actual sword attacks. Which means he could be a big jerk and he can be at blue and then you hit him super well with the Industrialist. Then he switches to red and he just knocks you down over and over and over. And whenever you're in the perfect position to hit him in front of him, and not even in front of him, he could just switch as fast as he wants. He can just wreck your day by knocking you down and then just killing you. Then he turns into a ball, which isn't that big of a problem, but because I mean the little white pellets only do 10 damage, and they explode. It's just if you're good at bullet hell, then that's good for you. And then the chest, excuse me. Then the chest drops on top of him, and you're like, wow, that was an easy fight. Well, no, because a spider just came out of nowhere. This boss, I spent about a minute and a half on the spider alone, and I was playing as the best character in the game. What does that tell you? And whenever I was doing it, he has like these little like claws on the bottom. He would just move those, which means you would jump up, get hit before you can even attack him. How messed up is that? And unfair. And then the castle starts to break down. Then you have to fight the bubble guy again, which the same is true here. Then he gets the dragon sword, the demon sword, the best sword, whatever you want to call it in the game. I don't really care. But you got to remember, like, holy crap, this can be extremely difficult. You could get trapped by the meteors, which, I mean, the meteors aren't the biggest problem, but you might be low on potions and health, which is a problem. And then he can throw this, like, fire blast thing at you, which is the attack that I have the most difficulty with, because its hitbox is actually quite large. And then he just does Flame Wheel, because apparently he's a Pokemon now, and it can knock you down and give you burn damage. And then, once you beat him, the castle breaks, and that is the final boss battle of Castle Crashers. But what's harder than that many phases? Our number 2 spot, which might actually be quite a surprise to some of you, but I honestly don't think it's that big of a surprise, because I have always had such a difficult time with the following boss. The Sock Puppet and his dragon. I don't care what anyone says, this is the second most difficult boss in the game. It's also one of my favorites because of nostalgia reasons, as I remember my brothers, both of them, trying to beat this boss for hours into the night. Like, oh my gosh, this thing, it just won't die. And whenever they killed it, they like lost their mind. And their friend Zach was over, it was a good night. Alright, so continuing, look at this. Look at this. Sometimes the sock monkey, as Preston calls it, can grab a rock and throw it down the mountain. You're like, oh wow, that's not fair. There's like one tiny chunk out of the map where sometimes the freaking rocks hitbox can still hit you. But look at this. After I get up from the fire, the meteor's just gonna smash me in the face, and that's exactly what happened. So, and then you gotta remember, look at this. The range attacks do no damage, which means you're gonna have to jump up into the dragon's mouth and just hit him in the little small hitbox of the X. And there's demons that can just hit you down. And whenever I was playing this, I was a jerk back then. I was like, Preston, you're not doing anything. But he was. He was keeping the dragons away from freaking sticking their pitchfork into my face, which is really nice. But I think it's pretty obvious what number 1 is. It's the Necromancer. Best theme, best boss, hardest boss. He's insane. Let's look at his faces. Oh yeah, crappy pictures. I'm sorry. This is the best I could do for me. I didn't want to steal anybody's pictures. Anyways, alright, his first phase is pretty simple. Just spawning a bunch of enemies. And if you get caught with the Conehead, the Industrialist, and the Fencer, they will just drop bombs. You're like, guys, this isn't needed. They'll just drop bombs and bombs and bombs. And if you get stuck with the Thieves and the Eskimos, then they are gonna ruin your life. You know why? Because they feel like it. They feel like arrow spamming you and snowball spamming you. And then the second phase is even harder. Like, what is even happening here? I can't tell. Alright, he spawns 3 brutes and a bunch of enemies. And you're like, bro, can you not? Can you not right now? But all the brutes will just throw you around the map. And whenever you get in a good position, say as the Industrialist, to just spam your gears, the brutes will pick you up and throw you into the crowd of enemies. How unfair is that? And then in his final form, he uses magic. He uses these hands that come out of the ground and then tickle your toes. I know, it's pretty awful. And he can throw skeletons, and look at that. He is the player. He can block stuff with his shield. So if you hit his shield, you're gonna fly back just like an enemy would. How stupid is that? And then he can throw skeletons at you. And that is my hardest Castle Crashers bosses. Each of them ranked. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like and leave a cool comment down below. Also, I think that we're going to bring back the Castle Crashers series and finally finish it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, leave a cool comment down below. If you guys are enjoying Flying Horse Vlog, please click the subscribe button. Goodbye.